He was walking along the forest path, and fear began to creep into my heart until we reached a beautiful bright house. Hello, I am Fatima. I work as an obstetrician in the hospital. I am married to Sama, and I have 2 sons, Moaz and Rames. My husband Sama works in the desert on a monthly basis, meaning that he goes to work in oil companies for an entire month and then returns to spend the next month at home. I came to tell you about what happened to me while he was at work. Follow the events of my story with me. I was a charitable woman who did not refuse anyone who asked for me, nor was I stingy with anyone who asked me. I was known in the hospital for my kindness and consideration for pregnant women. I did not tell them about childbirth as obstetricians do. One day, when I finished my work at the hospital, I left exhausted for home. My parents were waiting for me, and Sama was at work and would not return. 5 days ago, I prepared dinner for Moaz and Rames, both of you. As for me, I will go and stand for a while and then get up to have dinner. Why don't you share food with us? I'm sorry, Rames, but I'm very tired and I won't be able to eat in this state. Let her rest. She gets very tired at work. Thank you, my little one. When you finish eating, wash your hands and go to bed. As I went to my room and slept, I intended to sleep for a quarter of an hour, but due to extreme fatigue, I slept for a long time and only woke up to a knock on the door. I panicked and ran to the children's room and found them asleep in my bed while I turned off the television. I looked at the clock and it was 2 a.m. Good, God willing. Who will come to me this late at night? I spoke to Al-Tariq from behind the door. Who's at the door? Please, Mom, we call the obstetrician. But I'm not working tonight. My wife is very sick and I cannot take her to the hospital, and she has labour pains. Please help her. What if you're deceiving us? I cannot trust you. So whoever guarantees me your honesty is no guarantor other than God. I hope you will save my wife and her child, and who is more sure than God? Wait for me for a moment, that will come quickly. I hurried to my room, got a bag, put my eyeliner and some sheets in it, and opened the door. I locked it from the outside with the key, fearing for my child. I met a man in his 40s who walked quickly before me, and I was following him in the darkness. He was walking along the forest path, and fear began to creep into my heart until we reached a beautiful bright house. We entered it, and I heard the woman screaming, "Come with my wife into this room." I entered the room he indicated. There was a very beautiful blonde girl lying on the bed struggling with labour pains. "Why are you standing? Come on, help me, I'm dying." It took a quarter of an hour until I held her newborn in my hands, and his screams rose in the house. "Congratulations, my dear. She gave birth to a son." "I'll let Sherlock." "What is this strange name?" That's what his grandfather wanted to call him. He called his father Please. I was surprised by the baby's name and left the room. "Sir, may God bless you with the baby and make him good offspring. Your wife wants you." He was happy with the good news and went to his wife. "Welcome, Prince. Share, Crown Prince. The whole kingdom will rejoice tomorrow. Aren't you going to throw a feast for his birthday? Oh, how ambitious. Indeed, the sacrifices will be won and food will be distributed to the people for 7 full days. And you will be the queen tomorrow. Oh, see, he has gone too far. You must honour this midwife, as she certainly carried out her mission perfectly. Thanks to God, and then thanks to her, we were able to see our son. I saved your life too, guys. We owe it to her." Her husband came out of the room. Their names were strange and they spoke in a strange manner. But I did not understand anything they said, as if they were performing an acting role in a play. Suddenly the man returned and brought with him a box and placed it on the ground. "This is yours in exchange for your service, but I do not need anything in return." "I'm sorry. I have to get back to the kids right now." "Don't worry. Take a look inside." I bent my head down to open the box, but I felt dizzy and fell to the ground. I didn't know how long I slept. When I opened my eyes, I found myself in the middle of the forest, sleeping on the grass, and the bright house had disappeared. Was I dreaming? I quickly got up and saw the box next to me. I opened it and I found a lot of gold jewelry in it, and neither the woman nor her husband was there. Then I remembered their names and conversations, and I was overcome with intense fear. I left the box and ran quickly to my house, and when I arrived, I was in for a surprise. The same box I left in the woods was next to my house. I looked right and left, and there was no one. I opened it and found the same jewelry. I took it and entered the house. I looked at my children and found them asleep, but I couldn't tell anyone about it. I hid the box in the closet and waited for my husband to return the next night. While I was sleeping, I heard a small infant screaming, but his screaming did not stop. I followed the sound and opened the outer door to be surprised by the blonde woman carrying Sherlock a sword in her hands. "You honored my eyes by saving this soul, and I honor you by saving the soul of someone dear to you. Jewelry box is a reward for you. Use it and do not be afraid of fear." I stared at her and then walked away. She realized and remembered her words. "What do you mean by saying that she saved a soul dear to me?" I rushed to my children's room and found them fine. Then I remembered Samir. I called him, but he did not answer my call. His phone was off. I walked anxiously to my room, and every time I called Samir, I found his phone switched off. I couldn't sleep and kept wandering between the rooms until dawn. Then I heard a knock on the door. Fear ran through my body. This strange family does not bode well. I don't know how to stop their terrifying visits. I walked with hesitant steps. I said to the person at the door, "Open, Fatima, I will pass." Samar quickly opened. "How are you? Why did you come today? Why is your phone turned off?" "Don't worry. Let me rest. I'll tell you everything." Samar entered and went directly to the bathroom. I was waiting with bated breath. Then he came out and sat on the edge of the bed and told me what happened. I was tired of work, and I agreed with my friend that he would spare my art for the remaining days of the month. I drove the truck early in the morning to deliver the last barrels and head home. While I was on the road, the brakes failed and the truck flipped over, and I fell to the bottom and got stuck inside. The steering wheel was suffocating me. I tried to break free from him, but I couldn't, and my breath began to run out. I chanted the testimony, and suddenly a blonde woman appeared. She pulled the wheel with all force, opened the door, and disappeared. I got out of the truck with difficulty and crawled onto the road. I looked for the woman who helped me, but I couldn't find her, and suddenly the truck exploded. My death was imminent. Phone, brokenness. I waited until I passed by a car that I stopped and called the driver's phone to the company, and they sent me help. I was taken to the hospital and asked for leave to recover from what happened to me. When Sama completed his story, I was confirmed by the fact that he had saved a soul dear to me. I told Sama what happened to me, and he said, "It must be a ruling family of jinn. She wanted to return the favor when she saved me. Until now, we have not seen that blonde woman again, and we do not know the secret of her choosing us. As for the jewelry, I kept it without using it